So now, hello Agony Aunties. My question today for us is about narcissism. How to deal with a narcissistic mum who is getting worse as she ages. Why doesn't it get easier?
Does anything get easier as you age? There probably are some things, but I don't think narcissism is probably one of them.
I think, I think, I think the tendency is that as we age, our defenses get stronger and our capacity to change gets less. So we get more rigid in old ways. I thought it might be useful for listeners to give some kind of definition of narcissism, because there's, people use narcissistic to describe someone who's being just annoying and selfish. And then there is somebody who has narcissistic traits, which is someone who has kind of signals and sometimes is narcissistic. And then there's narcissistic personality disorder. And they're kind of degrees of narcissism. Being selfish isn't narcissism. And I think we can all kind of recognize that at times we really don't think about other people and just do stuff for ourselves. And we can be called out on it. But I think one of the definitions of narcissism is that it's sort of extreme self-involvement to the extent that you ignore and have no empathy for the needs of others, and you always prioritize your needs, and your feelings override everybody else's. I think one of the big things is that narcissists have no insight how their behavior affects other people.
I would just say Donald Trump. Just think of Donald Trump, and there you go. Yeah, prime narcissist. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but
You're definitely allowed to say that.
I think, therefore, one of the challenges of being in a relationship with someone who has high narcissistic traits or a narcissistic personality disorder is how to hold on to yourself, how to have boundaries, how to stay connected to validating your own experience, because often the experiences that your experience is ridden roughshod over and diminished or not acknowledged and not validated, they show no interest in your world or your inner world. You can come away internalizing that experience of not being worthwhile, not having good self-esteem, not having a voice. So I think the things that you can do to support yourself, to validate your own experience, to not and to distance yourself on your expectations, that if she is growing older and that how she is and is getting worse, that there's sometimes a process of grief of letting go, that she will necessarily not see or acknowledge your experience the way she wishes she does. And that there's a really lovely series of episodes in a podcast called Therapy Uncensored, where they really unpack different types of narcissism and and that differentiation that Mum made between disorder, traits, covert narcissism, grandiose narcissism. If you're interested to learn more, and also they talk about what can you do as a person who's in a relationship with narcissists. They also have an episode of like, gosh, if you recognize this can be you, what could you do to support yourself as someone who has a tendency to lean towards narcissism in a very compassionate, supportive way?
That's really lovely, Soph. And I would definitely agree with all of that and say, try not to do it alone. Have you got anybody who can support you with your mum? Obviously, we don't have a lot of information here, but I think a huge part of the process is about recognizing you're not going to be able to change her, and therefore doing what you can to protect yourself in the context of that she's not going to change. I think you can change what you do to accommodate her. So I'm sure you would want to make sure that she was safe and getting all the care that she needs. I obviously don't know how old she is, but I think you can change the relationship from your end. You can't change her. You can change what you do.
And I think one of the big things that you might be able to change, which is using what you said, both of you said, which is about boundaries and getting support for yourself, is that when you're with your mum, try to stay neutral, because she wants the drama. She wants to be able to have the kind of her impact on you. So if you can stay calm, kind of go grayscale, basically, sort of remain neutral and not have the flare up, she might actually move her attention in a different direction if she consistently learns that she can't get her kind of narcissistic expression onto you. And also, I think you said this, Sophie, is like, don't blame yourself. Have a stance where you can have a sort of third eye looking. Because I think when a narcissist attacks you and they say these terrible things to you, you do feel defective, like there's something wrong with you. So I think when you can take a step back and observe it and really recognize this isn't you, this is them, that's helpful. So thank you everyone for listening. I hope this is helpful. We'll put links to support in the show notes, and we look forward to you listening next time.